during the same time as the conquest of Hernan Cortez and Francisco Pizarro. Another conquistador was attempting to conquer a great and ancient empire for God, glory, and gold, but you probably haven't heard of him. That was because, unlike the infamous plunderers of the New World, Filipe de Brito and Nicote failed horribly. It's 1581, and the king is dead. That king is Bayunang, one of the greatest rulers in all of Southeast Asia, and the ruler of the Taungoo Empire, the dominant power in the region. But with his demise, the empire he had brought together is thrown into a series of ever-worsening rebellions. His successor, Nanda Bayan, is faced with rebellions from all corners of the empire, and from various princes from the immense Taungoo dynasty family tree. One of these princes seeks the aid of the kingdom of Arakan. No, not Arakan, Arakan, which was ruled by Min Razagri, a powerful warlord who had his eyes on the city of Pegu. Pegu was the center of power in the Taungoo Empire and was heavily defended, so to bolster his forces, Min Razagri augmented his forces with Portuguese mercenaries. One of those mercs was Filipe de Brito e Nicote. With his immense forces and with Nanda Bayan dealing with rebellions in the north, Min Razagri easily took Pegu in a decisive campaign. To reward his Portuguese mercenaries, he gave them the port of Siriam, a strategically important port which controlled the Pegu River and expanded Portuguese control over the Bay of Bengal. This all sounds great, right? Well, in comes Felipe to get a piece of that pie. So, what I was thinking, yeah, that maybe for my outstanding service, I should get a little reward. Okay. Can I have the customs house on the port? Fine. Now get out. With his new customs house, Brito felt pretty good about himself, but he was Portuguese, so he built a giant fortress out of the customs house to act as a base for his new kingdom. Ambitious, I know, but it was necessary. By this time, Portugal was in a race with Spain to establish dominance and control over the Bay of Bengal, which would allow for the exports of India, the Spice Islands, and the Far East to have safe passage back to Portugal, without going through hostile waters. These Portuguese ports can be found all across this main path, from the Iberian Peninsula to the Spice Islands, and this served as a route to bring back wealth and those spices back. And right in the nexus of all these routes was the Bay of Bengal. Thereby losing the bay would mean losing access to the Spice Islands. In 1602, from his base at Siriam, Brito now moved to establish a new empire from this base, and proclaimed himself King of Syria. He held the current heir of the Taungoo dynasty in his fort, and began raiding his once ally, Min Razagri. This caused Min Razagri to attack the fortress at Siriam with 40,000 men. This was a mistake, because while Min Razagri had the numbers, the Portuguese had walls and cannons. This did not go well for Min Razagri. After that episode, Min Razagri went back to Arakan, and Brito took the territory around Pegu, and by 1603 had claimed the old capital of Pegu. Now he gained the very important title of King of Pegu, meaning he was a big boy now. As a big boy, he had a big boy job to do, so he set about systematically subjugating greater and greater territories for Portugal. This got him in a bit of trouble when he provided protection to the new heir of the Taungoo dynasty from the King of Ava, who swiftly attacked him and put him under siege. This did not go well for the King of Ava, because while he may have had a lot of forces and a lot of swords, Filipe de Brito had something different. He had cannons. This did not go well for the King of Ava. Now, while Brito may have kept back the King of Ava, the rest of Taungoo were not so lucky, and they put down their swords and had to ally with Ava. This was a mistake for the Taungoo. In response, Brito decided to unleash hell on the Taungoo seat of power. He burned down the city and brought back his former ally as a prisoner, along with most of the people in the city. He also destroyed a bunch of Buddhist artifacts, including a bell, which definitely did not curse him. Now, the Portuguese had obtained much of the land on the east coast of the Bay of Bengal, but it was not enough for Filipe. He wanted more, and the Portuguese really needed to stop these natives from attacking the ports. It was getting dangerous. In 1607, he wished to take the island of Sundava and thought he could just ask Arakan to give it to him, so he sent his son to meet with Minrazagri. Minrazagri had enough of these Portuguese, so in response, he killed Filipe's son and the Portuguese forces brought by him, declaring war on the Portuguese with the help of the remaining Taungoo dynasty. This again did not work because cannons, but the damage dealt to the fortress and the supplies used in the siege were the final nail in the coffin for Portuguese Pegu. Filipe was in big trouble. His forces were destroyed, demoralized, and after 3 long years, he was finally put out of his misery by being captured by the new king of Ava. He was then put on a spike and died after 3 long days of agony. With his death died the hope of Portuguese Pegu, and it seems the story of this odd man died with him. But even now, in the places which he conquered, ruins of his great fortress can still be seen today. Thanks for watching.